Hello, Peter Van, the Dent Fix guy, here to talk about our DF-900 capacitor discharge welder, the ALU spot, and getting studs to stick properly. Starting with setting up the machine correctly, let's turn the power on the machine. The machine turns on here as well. There's two power switches, and it'll come on a level of 5. Our recommendation is to push the down button twice and start at level 3. Now, once you've gotten there, push this button and that changes it to a voltage rating. So you can go up 1 volt at a time as opposed to going up 1 level at a time. The levels are like this. On the 3, you're at 85. 4, you're at 90. 5, you're at 100. So you can see at level 3, by going 1 volt at a time, you've got 5 settings before you get to level 5. That is a better way to adjust it, avoid blowing holes in your panels, and you'll get a good stick. So, we've got our machine set on the correct power. The next thing you want to look at is your gun tension. There's an indicator on the side here, knob on the back. The easiest way to get it correct is turn this knob counterclockwise until it stops, and then give it 1 full turn back. That'll put the indicator into the front quarter of the gauge, and now your tension is set correctly. Next thing I want you to look at is your ground poles. Make sure that they're clean. If they're not clean, you will get a bit of crust that'll build up on them after usage. Take a little sandpaper, this is 150 grit, it works fine, and just knock them down and get them good and clean. That way you'll get good continuity and you'll get a good stick of your stud. Now that we've got our machine set correctly and our gun set right, we need to look at studs. The DF-900 series of ALU spot stud welders come with 2 different types of studs, magnesium alloyed and silicon alloyed. It is important that you use the correct stud for the panel and the vehicle that you're working on. You will find cases where the same vehicle will have different panels in different types of aluminum. That is best to look up on your OEM websites, or sometimes you'll have to use trial and error. So, selecting the correct stud, in this case we're going to go with the silicon-based stud. Be careful not to touch the tip. Always keep these in their bags that they came with the labels on them and sealed up tight so you don't mix them up. It can be very difficult to tell them apart. Now, loading the stud into your gun, holding it by the sides, load it in. Use the bottom of your small brush on the edge of it without touching the little tip in the middle and push it down until it seats in. You'll notice about a 1 millimeter gap between the head of the gun and the head of the rivet. That's what you want to see. Now our rivet's loaded correctly and we're ready to burn in. Very important when you burn in that you are completely perpendicular to the panel, straight up and down. Now be careful when you're doing a panel on the side of the car. A lot of people will try to keep it perpendicular to, or horizontal to the floor, but that may not be necessarily perpendicular to your panel because panels have curves and angles in them. So make sure you are perpendicular, going straight up and down in your burn-in into the panel, and you will get a good burn-in. But before you do that burn-in, you need to prep the panel properly. Starting with using our DF-700 coating removal tool. This is actually a standard part in our DX and DX models of the ALU spot aluminum dent pulling system. Comes with the fiber brush, for a fiber wheel, for a reason, because it removes the coatings very well without leaving aggressive grinding marks on the panel. It almost looks polished when you're done or machine finished when you're done. It also creates less heat. Once you've removed your coatings, your paint, your undercoat, whatnot, with this tool, very important, all of our DF-900 ALU spot welders come with 2 stainless steel brushes for a reason. Starting with the big brush, brush back and forth vigorously. You'll notice a little bit of black dust building up as you do this. That is your aluminum oxide. After brushing vigorously, blow off the dust that you'll see. use your small brush in one direction. So what you're doing is you're using this one back and forth to break up all the oxide, using the small brush in one sweeping motion to sweep it away. You can see the dust coming off. That is the aluminum oxide. And you'll notice that it's getting shinier. You're basically polishing this slightly. That's what you want to see happen. Now we've got our coatings removed. We've got our oxide removed. We want to immediately burn in our stud. Again, making sure that the gun is completely perpendicular to the panel, contacting our two ground planes on clean, freshly brushed aluminum, and pushing straight down and letting our stud burning in. That will give you a good burn in, a good adhesion, so you can get a great pull. The DF-900 Alu-Spot series of capacitor discharge stud welders for aluminum repair from Dent Fix